Welcome to the bold analysis. There is a cliche that says that when the deal is too sweet, then think twice. IMF is raising a red alarm on Kenya Kwanza that the elusive Dubai oil deal, Mtaani, is going to shut national government in the next few months. I want us to dig deep into this and why the William Ruto administration has then opted out, made a U-turn, official U-turn on the Dubai deal. What exactly it is. So if you've never understood about this, if you're listening to this for the first time, kindly subscribe to our channel, click the notification bell and like our videos. And of course, I believe that we're going to have a good time here. According to the People Daily, not the People, that Business Daily, Kenya will take a back step from the government to government backed fuel import credit scheme negotiated by United Arab Emirates in March that saw Kenya importing oil from Dubai on credit on a 6-month program from the month of April. And this is after the International Monetary Fund, IMF, expressed concerns that taxpayers might be exposed to currency-related costs. There is just simple understanding of, I know for those who have not been so much following this, currently we are exporting oil from Dubai on credit for the next 8 months, not even 6, for the next 6 months. But the first installment we are due to pay mid-September. This deal was highly praised by the current administration. And this Treasury Secretary, Cabinet Secretary, Professor Ndumu said that government will step back to allow the private sectors, including oil marketing companies, OMCs, banks and credit insurance providers to run the scheme. I want to explain to you what that withdrawal means. But before we get that, this is what President Ruto said, the way the whole program was highly hyped as a big solution to our fuel problem.
Let me also, in a very special way, just commend some of our performers. My economic advisor, David Ndi, Mohammed Hassan, Davis Chirchir, and the young man at EPRA. Those 4 gentlemen have done something phenomenal in our country. They have managed to put together a program that has taken us away from looking for $500 million every month to buy our fuel needs, which was slowly snowballing into a crisis. Today, as a country, we can buy fuel in Kenya shillings, something that many people never thought it would be possible. Again, I want to commend these good people. And let me tell you that from this month of April, all our fuel marketers and all the people in that space, they will be able to buy our products, fuel products, in Kenya shillings. And it will remove pressure on our dollars. In fact, in the next 1 month or so, you will see dollars coming down, the exchange rate coming down in a very phenomenal way. In fact, in my estimation, in the next couple of months, the exchange rate will come below 120 shillings.
Now, you listen to how Ruto praised individuals that were allegedly behind that deal. And that was an explanation of how the people had really come up with one of the best solutions according to him. Now, what government does now under this plan, Treasury provides comfort letters, what is known as comfort letters, some CLs. The comfort letters give a high level of assurance to the Dubai companies that Kenya would meet its obligations to exporters and local banks. So what happens here is Kenya has already partnered with the national government in partnership with some local banks, cooperative, I think Equity and some are part of this program. And these banks all act as guarantors to the 3 oil marketing companies. Now, in this program, there are only 3 companies that were licensed to import the oil in the country. Then all the other 96 oil marketing companies in the country are supposed to buy from the 3. Now, these who are buying from the 3 companies are buying in Kenyan shillings. So I'll explain for you what was the rationale behind it. Now, when government writes these comfort letters, the state writes these comfort letters, it gives those companies from Dubai that yes, mnatupatia oil in fuel, mnatupatia fuel in credit, but we have a high profile assurance that we are going to pay. And it's to the purchases from the governments of Saudi Arabia and United Arab Emirates by designated oil importers. Now, Treasury is insisted that such letters of comfort cannot amount to government guarantees private debt. IMF reckons the government is exposed through some foreign exchange valuation losses. This is, and there is one thing I wanted to get very critical at this point. The reason why we were buying oil on credit for these 6 months was to ease the demand for the dollar, because amongst our imports, zile vitu tunaleta kwa nchi, oil gobbles a bigger percentage, a highest percentage of the dollar. So what happens here is there is normally a scramble for the dollar as companies want to buy the product. Now, the more there is the demand, or rather the scramble for the dollar, we lose, our dollar reserves goes down, and that is why our shilling has been weakening. So President Ruto even promised that the shilling will go down due to this deal, but believe me the shilling against the dollar has hit its highest, historic highest. On Friday, it was, the last time I checked, it was on Friday, it was at 100, it was converting at 100, at 144, and you can confirm today, you realize it has even hit 150 at one point. So this deal, one thing it was supposed to cure is what was supposed to cure, to stabilize the shilling. That has failed. Number 2, it was also supposed to stabilize the oil, because the oil prices, because we had narrowed down the players, and now because we were getting on credit, it was on some, it was on some standard price. So being that the 3 oil marketing companies were given this direct tenders by the government was hands-on on this oil deal. But believe me we had to go to the PDL, Petroleum Development Levy, allegedly to stabilize the prices of fuel. Now this tells you that what was the intention of this deal has collapsed. Now I want you to look at, if you snoop through this screenshot, these are articles, and these are articles that if you read, this is made somewhere in July. President Ruto sent a delegation to Dubai to renegotiate the deal, because we are due to pay in September, and the government was feeling it will not be able to meet the obligation in September. So I can tell you, mid-September, things are going to be very chaotic. I can promise you this. Things are going to be very chaotic, because they're going to pay it, and when we are paying huge loans, we normally have a problem. And the IMF, who I think is our economic prefect so far, IMF and World Bank are our economic recovery prefects by default, has told government that they need to relook that issue. So what the state has done, or Kenya Kwanza has done, is they're no longer going to write those comfort letters And they want the program to be run by those banks. What clearly here is that wanajiondoa. Number two, they are giving the tenders to 3 companies. So what is going to happen? They will open it. And remember, we complained. Even 96 oil companies went to court to challenge the closed tendering that locked out others, because it was only given to 3 to import. So they also went to court and challenged it. One of the other interpretations from this is the window might also be opened for everyone then to import. Remember, this was a deal to help us solve our fuel problem, our fuel price problem. It has failed. Now, why do you think the deal has collapsed? I'm seeing 3 probabilities. The first, the implementation was even flawed to benefit political proxies. This development came when we had a lot of activism against subsidy on oil, on fuel subsidy. And if you've been following this deal, you realize that the deal was only given to 3 companies to import the oil, then the others buy from them. So what was the criterion of picking the 3? Of course, these 3 companies must have been the ones that are close to power. And just from that, it was already a red flag that it started on a wrong footing. Number 2, our debt profile is worrying. And we have a lot of creditors. The country, Kenya, has a lot of creditors, and IMF, World Bank is one of them. The Bretton institutions are feeling wary because our debt profile is worrying. And because, if you, and I want us to make it very simple, simplistic in this manner. You are somewhere, you are giving us, you want to lend someone some money. But the person you want to lend, you lend him money today, then tomorrow you find him going to another person to lend. What do you think? You get worried because the debt profile of this person is increasing and will stand the risk of defaulting. Actually, what IMF is getting worried of is not that our economy is going to shut, because that's not where their interest is. What they're not saying is we might default in paying their loan because of these other loans. And that is what exactly it is. That they are seeing a sense of default on servicing other loans. Looking at this because our debt profile is surging. Lastly, this deal was never widely and extensively consulted. It was hatched above board. And sometimes above board is good. In governance, people go above board because you want to avoid bureaucracies. But again, I wish above board does not mean you stop vertical. You stop vertical communication, vertical consultation. That you need to consult these people. Above board should never be horizontal. That you just want to consult that manager, that chairman. It has never worked. Even if you have to hatch a program or a deal above board, but always embrace vertical consultation, because that is what can help. Otherwise, this was one that really people raised eyebrows on it. It's a matter of wait and see how it's going to be managed. Thank you.